share the link about, I think. Let's go to the actual one. So, guys, I am live. I'm going to be covering something in a minute because I finished the last live stream and I got a comment that I need to address. So I'm going to be addressing that. False allegation. I'm hoping the person that made it is going to be in the chat so they can come in the live stream and they can tell me what they're on about. I'm going to tell people that I'm actually live. Just bear with me. I'm going to get into it and wait for a few more people to come in. I wasn't intending to do this live stream at all. I was getting ready to pack it up for the night. And then I saw this particular comment, which was alarming, really. And I don't understand it. But we'll get into that in a minute. I'm just going to share the link to this. Because this is interesting. It needs to be addressed. Hey, chat. Anybody listening? Right, so now I've got a few people in here. Let's address this accusation. I'm going to put it on the screen. So this is from Clare Bear. And she states, have you just attacked Richard Inman and his family? Have I just attacked Richard Inman and his family in my last live stream? Wow. You have just attacked Richard Inman and his family. That was below the belt. Have you no idea that the man has gone through attacking and saying he is lying about the issue? It's hurtful to him and his family. Whatever you think of Richard, yeah, play your game. But I'm really disgusted that you would bring that into the chat. An apology would be especially appreciated towards his wife. I didn't even mention his wife. I think it's a Richard Inman sycophant. I think it's a Richard Inman sycophant. I've sent her a direct message, a direct video message to a comment, telling her that she needs to retract this immediately because this is just wrong. She left the comment below the last live stream that I've just done. Everybody, how you all doing? But this is disgusting itself because nowhere in that stream did I mention Richard Inman's wife. Nowhere in that live stream did I mention Richard Inman's family. This is pure fabrication. And if anybody doesn't believe it, just go back and watch the last live stream. His family wasn't mentioned at all. We only talked about Richard Inman and that was it. So this is what they do. They smear you with tactics like this. And I hope she comes in. I hope she comes into the chat and comes into the live stream and actually explains what she means by this. Because she's not very specific about what was supposed to have said that's supposed to be so offensive. It's very vague. It's vague. It doesn't even say what was said. Just that there was an attack. And it's deliberately so. It's a smear, in my opinion. That kind of sums things up. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to go live again tonight, but I need to clear this up. And, I hope she comes out because we can't let people get away with stuff like this. Steve, at what point did I mention, you were in here, at what point did I mention Richard Inman's wife and his family? Because I didn't. I wouldn't do that. I'm not that sort of person. Oh yeah, he's back again, is he? Right, okay. But this is I've told her in the actual video, that short that I did, that she needs to retract the statement because it's not true. Not true. Anybody watching that live stream that I just did just now will know that I never mentioned Richard Inman's family or his wife. Not at all. It's insanity. And this comment has been screenshotted and it will be saved. Well, I don't mention people's family, Steve. That's the point. I never do. For good reason, because it is below the belt and I would never do it. So I'm interested to see what I'm supposed to have done because it's just a vague, it doesn't even say what I did. How you have just attacked Richard Inman and his family. And his family. How did I attack his family? It's insane. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if she sees the actual live stream and she comes in and tries to explain what I'm supposed to have done because I'd be very interested. But she definitely needs to retract this statement. I won't remove it because I don't remove comments, but it's up to her to delete it. Yeah, but to bring his family, she's brought his family into it. I never brought his family into it at all. I've only ever addressed Richard Inman and Paul Thorpe. I've never mentioned anything about their families ever. I suggest you give the exact time that Bisbee attacked Richard Inman, or are you hiding behind the fact that libel is difficult to pursue in the UK? Probably. It's not that I attacked Richard Inman, Steve. She's saying that I attacked his family and his wife. It's like, what are you talking about? This is what I mean with these people. They're absolute sycophants. These followers are just cult-like in nature. They really are. I'm hoping she comes into the chat, and so I can get her on the live stream and we can have a chat about what she said. The thing that she's a mod kind of explains everything, but to leave a comment like this is disgusting. In fact, you know what? We'll go to the video. We'll go to the video, and we'll get it up. Right. Let's see if she's actually responded. I've got notifications on here. She's not responded. But it's definitely a smear. And it's not something I'm going to let slide. I'm not going to let anything like this slide because it's wrong. Right, we'll get it up, and I'll play the actual thing that I played for her. I can pause it. That is, pause it. I'll look at the comments because let's have a look. Oh, that's the wrong one. Right, it's this one I want. Yeah, pretty much everybody's saying that he didn't hear me attack Richard Inman or Richard Inman's family. So, right, I'm going to pause this and I will play it. I'll share it. So that's just insane. But these people are absolutely crazy, aren't they? Crazy people. Right, I've got you. Saying his family's being threatened. Yeah. Right, okay. I get you now. It is a bit tongue in cheek though, because he hasn't provided proof of it, has he? And with all the lies he's been telling lately, he's been lying about everybody an ethno-nationalist. Yeah, he's a liar. He lied about Rupert Lowe. So why should I believe him? I've got no reason to believe him. Let's not forget about his lie about Rupert Lowe when he said Rupert Lowe voted for assisted dying when he didn't. He misrepresented him. He lied because Rupert Lowe, what he did was, all Rupert Lowe did was vote for a debate on assisted dying, and Richard Inman said he voted for assisted dying. So he's a liar. So I don't trust a liar. And I'm perfectly fine with saying that. Yeah. They're not getting an apology. Definitely not getting an apology. This is all about comments they've read. It's probably bots. Yeah. The thing is, has he had an Osmond warning, or has he just had an internet threat like we all get, like I get daily? Has he had one of them? Thing is, I never mentioned his wife. I never mentioned his family. Inman last night, he said he was wrong to lash out at Rupert and others, but was angry. Then within moments, he said, "You know what, Paul? I'm not sorry." He's a two-faced hypocrite. He's unhinged. That's why I don't trust a word he says. I don't believe a word he says because he constantly lies about everything. Look at the way he smeared Rupert Lowe. Look at the way he smeared 100,000 people as ethno-nationalists without even flinching. Well, I'm going to delete that comment because I'm not apologising for it. I'm going to be open about it. I'm deleting this comment. And if I see it propagated anywhere else, or if any of you see it propagated anywhere else, just let them know, pointing to the actual live stream. And then point to the fact that he's a barefaced liar. And, you know, I don't trust a word he says for good reason, because he's a liar. He's lied about things. Yep. Yeah, I will do. I'm going to take a screenshot of the entire page with the comment on in context. So I'll do that. Do that now, actually. In fact, I'm going to leave it up. I'm going to leave the comment up. I've already got a screenshot of it. So it's on record. I've got it already. But that's just insane. The way they act, the way they demand things. It's like they don't even consider that he's telling the truth. He might not be telling the truth. He's got a track record of lying about things. Why bring his family into it when his family weren't even mentioned? This is what they're like, though. So, guys, I'm just taking a screenshot of this, so I've got a record of it. Take a screenshot of the entire screen. There we go. Got a record of that now. I just want to see if she's going to come in. And hey, Gobster, how you doing? I just want to see if she wants to come in and defend what she said. Because at no point did I mention his family or his wife. She's the one that's mentioned that to make it stick more, hasn't she? So, how you have just attacked Richard Inman and his family. And his family. I haven't attacked his family. I drew into question what he said. So she's the one that's trying to bring his family into it by looking at this comment. How you have just attacked Richard Inman and his family was below the belt. You have no idea what the man has gone through. Attacking and saying he is lying about his issue is hurtful to him and his family. Well, I didn't mention his family, so how is it hurtful to his family? Didn't mention his family. Whatever you think of Richard, yeah, play your game, but I'm really disappointed that you would bring that into your chat. An apology would be nice, especially towards his wife. Why his wife? I didn't mention his wife. I didn't mention his wife. You're the one that mentioned his wife. I didn't even bring his wife into it. They're crazy. They're absolutely insane, these people. They're like a cult. It's a personality cult. Bloke's a tit, could do with a social media break. He's horrid little man. Yeah. These people are crazy. Absolutely crazy. I just want to go on the record that in the last live stream, in no way did I attack Richard Inman's wife or family. I just drew into question his credibility in telling the truth, since lately he's been pretty strong on misleading people. So that's why I don't believe him. Has Inman made a video having a meltdown? He had a meltdown last night telling Paul a tale. The comments off the screen, they can walk away. Do not let him play the mental health card. Yeah, to be honest with you, I think something's happened. I think he's had a bit of a mental break, and I think he needs to just get off the internet and get off social media. They were playing the victim last night. In that live stream, it was non-stop victim. Oh, I'm the victim, I'm the victim. And yet they're the ones that have been doing all division. They're the ones that have been attacking everybody for over a week, and yet people demand that apologies be made to them when they're not prepared to do it themselves. They can go fuck themselves. They can. Oh yeah, all for clicks and likes. And that's why myself and Tom Fury, 00 News, we said we're going to cut back on the videos because we're giving them oxygen. We're giving them oxygen, and they're doing the victim grift. That's what the whole live stream is about, the victim grift. They're using our videos that we're making about them to, at first it was about grifting off the movement. And now that the movement is kind of turning against them a little bit, now it's about shifting that grift to grifting off the victimhood that they're getting. Playing the sympathy card to their followers so they give them more donations and more super chats. That's what's happening. And that's why we've decided that we're pulling back with the videos. We're not going to give them any more oxygen. But I want to address this comment because this comment is disgusting. Nowhere in that live stream did I attack Richard Inman's family. Nowhere in that comment did I attack, in that video, in that live stream did I attack his wife. Not at all. I just talked about Richard Inman. It's Clare Bear that brought Richard Inman's wife and family into this, which I think is disgusting. To play that card in the first place anyway. And Richard's only got himself to blame as to why people don't believe what he says. Because he's been proven to be a liar, hasn't he? We've seen him lie. We've seen him misrepresent people and what they've said. Yeah, I think that's the best way forward, Gobster, is to just starve them of oxygen now. Yeah, I challenge anybody to go through that live stream and actually see where I mentioned his wife or his family. I didn't. I'd never do that. I'd never do that to anybody. They want you to feel guilty for something you're not guilty of. It's calculating behaviour from his mods and himself. Oh yeah, he's on the ropes at the minute. He's on the ropes from many different directions, and he's feeling the pressure. And the only thing he can do now is curl up in a little ball and play the victim after he's spent the last 2 weeks going after people, attacking people, calling them ethno-nationalists. Has he apologised? I think he apologised to Carl Benjamin, but he didn't apologise to Connor Tomlinson. He didn't apologise to Rupert Lowe. And I don't believe his apology to Carl Benjamin. I think he was forced to do that. That's it, mate. You know, you stick to the facts, you stick to the players in the game. I'm hearing this a lot. I'm hearing this from a lot of people. This bit, you know for a fact you had mentioned, if you mentioned his wife or family, I could remember it. You know what memory hole I have. Yeah, I never mentioned his family or his wife. This is Clare Bear that's brought this one up, which is disgusting. You know, I was bringing into question Richard's integrity in telling the truth, because that is in question lately, isn't it? With the things that he said. I mean, for God's sakes, he's implied that people that have been making the videos are deep state agents. They said Rupert wasn't reaching out. They got mad at me. And let's not forget, let's look at the disgusting thing they said about Rupert Lowe as well. They were insinuating that he had Alzheimer's, like the Reform Party did. That's what they were doing. They were saying he's getting old. He's getting a bit, you know, fragile. Insinuating he had Alzheimer's. To me, that's disgusting. But we don't see his own people, like Clare Bear, holding him to account and saying you need to apologise for that. It was disgusting. I think he's pretty much pissed off everybody on the internet, to be honest with you. There are not a lot of people in the movement that like him. There are not a lot of people in Team Tommy that like Richard Inman. I bet he didn't know that. There are a lot of people in Team Tommy that don't like Paul Thorpe. Yeah, we're secret MI agents. Yeah, yeah. I carry some really. My main weapon is some MDF, some really good MDF weaponry. Oh, he thinks himself. He thinks himself. He's got a very high opinion of himself, hasn't he? When he's talking about himself, a very high opinion of himself. He didn't even apologise to Dino Bane for mocking and laughing at him. Yeah, exactly. It's all right for him to do it. He's allowed to mock Dino Bane, but he doesn't like the criticism back, does he? I gave Paul a piece of my mind about that when I unsubscribed. Yeah. I think a lot of people have unsubscribed. Maybe I think I did an attempt, to be honest, made an accidental own goal. She clarified her thoughts on Englishness and talked about all the things that have been done against our will. Yeah. It is like a school playground. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of these little sycophants that can't bear to have their idols criticised. It annoys me. I don't want you guys to become like that. Criticise me. Please criticise me all you want and let other people criticise me. I don't want to be anything like these people. I don't want to be put on a pedestal or anything like that. I'm just a normal guy I've just got a microphone and a laptop and I speak on the internet. I don't want to become like these people who think they've got some kind of messiah complex about themselves, that they get to a certain number in subscribers and all of a sudden they think they're God's gift. I will never become like that. Never. I'm very, very grounded in that way. Very grounded. I want you guys to keep me honest and criticize the hell out of me. Yeah. If you think I'm doing something stupid or you don't agree with me, tell me. I never want to be like these people. Always miss your money. I didn't do one this morning. There'll be one tomorrow, though. I didn't do one this morning. Okay, Vin, it's on. Thank you. This B isn't the Messiah. It's a very naughty boy. I'm a very naughty boy. I listened to that particular night all the way through. No mention of his family was mentioned. I've never mentioned his family. I've never mentioned his wife or his extended family or anybody close to him. I've only ever talked about Richard Inman. That's it. Same here. I'm a humble person and I respect my community. That's right, mate. Thank you. I'll kind of defend him with this one, right? Paul ran off to Spain. He cared about the UK. He wouldn't have left. He would have stayed to fight this. Right, so let's look into that, right? That's his choice. It's his choice to go to Spain. And you know what? I'm not even going to complain about him making money from his YouTube channel because in respect to that, he did build it himself. He did build it up from scratch, and that's an achievement. So he has worked hard at it. So people have a right to donate to whoever they want. I can't tell people who to donate to and stuff like that. What I can disagree with is the means of which they get those donations. Whether they're being honest about what they're saying to get those donations, that's what I draw into question. It's like, are you really saying this stuff just to get a pity parade so people donate to you? That's what I find disgusting. I don't blame his audience for donating. That's their choice. I blame him for spinning the narrative that makes them donate. That's who I blame. everything I need to know about Paul Thorpe is when they lost their first by-election, and instead of staying with the party to fight on, maybe develop new policy, maybe develop the party better to make it better from within, he just quit. He ran away. He ran away from the party, and that's as much commitment as he has. As soon as something fails, he ditches it because he doesn't want to be involved with it. Hey everyone, looking back at the previous live, I believe you read out a comment on screen left by group, that's all. You didn't make any opinion on his family. No, I didn't. I didn't even mention his family. That's the point. They make these accusations and then they run away, nowhere to be seen, because it was just a smear. You know, if she was true to her conviction, she'd be in the chat right now. She was in the chat last time on the last live stream because I was talking about the great victim grift, which I think she found offensive. She was offended by that because it was true, because that's what they're doing. They're bleating their bleeding hearts, playing the victim so people donate to them. It's not nothing new on the internet. It's not something new on the internet. It's been done many, many times before. No family is mentioned on this channel. No, I don't do that sort of thing. I think everybody knows me by now that I like to debate people in person. I'm not going to talk about people that can't defend themselves. And when I talk about Richard Inman and Paul Thorpe, they have bigger channels than me. They have bigger platforms than me. It's punching up, it's not punching down. As Tom would say, that's how it should be done on YouTube. You don't punch down. You always punch up. If anything, they're the ones that have been punching down. They've been sending people to attack my videos and stuff like their sycophants because they can't stand criticism. And I say, bring it on. It's just comments. It's just words. I don't assign any value to what they say. It's only when they make comments like this that are defamatory and libelous because I didn't mention his wife or his family that get me concerned, because it's just an attempt to smear me. It's a lefty tactic, isn't it? It's to muddy the waters. How you doing, mate? Evening Vindicator. Just look back at the pattern of a narcissist and I think how the two of them are behaving. Oh, yeah. There's no doubts in my mind there's some kind of narcissistic personality disorder going on there. Just have a look at some of the chat. Criticism helps you grow. It does. It keeps you honest as well. That's what criticism does. Constructive criticism. They will. I would say I'll give it a year for Advanced UK and they'll fold, because I think Restore Britain are just going to go from strength to strength now. I mean, after 2 weeks and then they're on 100,000 members. Imagine what they're going to be like in 3 years' time. Unless Rupert does something catastrophically stupid in the meantime, I don't think anything's going to slow his momentum. I don't. When I saw the emotional outburst, it's alien to me working on a building sites with men. They need to get a grip. Yeah. It's the same with me out in Iraq. It's like they wouldn't last 5 minutes, mate, with the attitude they've got, with this emotional stuff. It's like, just suck it up and carry on. Thank you, mate. We try to anyway. We're not perfect. We'll admit that. We're not perfect. We get things wrong sometimes, and we'll admit to it. There was a righteous backlash against the Vans for going full Farage. Now I think we should put that behind us and move forward positively. The classy thing to do is wish them well and forget them. I agree. I agree with that. Don't give them any more oxygen. You know what? I said this in the last live stream. They're their own worst enemy. I don't need to do anything anymore. I've pointed to where the evidence is. I've made the streams. I've poked holes in their arguments. And that's for everybody to see now. And the more they double down on their stances on things, the more they're going to put people off, and the more people are going to reject what they're offering and move to restore Britain. And Ben Habib just can't help but be his own worst enemy. He really is. He's his own worst enemy. He just can't stop talking. And as I said in the previous stream, the last red flag for me with Ben Habib was the whole scandal of him taking the money, the donation back when Rupert Lowe offered him because he kicked up a fuss about not getting updates about the grooming gang inquiry, was taking back that £5,000. That was the last straw for me, because they're the actions of not an honourable man. An honourable man doesn't do that. I'm sorry, but they don't. And that might piss a lot of Advanced UK supporters and members off, but it's just the truth. You know what? If I had an issue with somebody and they weren't giving me updates about a grooming gang inquiry, I would just say, hey, mate, do you realise I haven't got updates? Can you backdate the updates so I can catch up and get up to date with them? That's all you needed to do. Why do you need your donation back? He must have kicked up such a fuss because Rupert Lowe's not the person that would do that offhand. If it had been a reasonable request to give Ben updates, he would have done it. But it looks like he went off on one. Ben Habib absolutely went off on one in the conversation. And, you know, Rupert Lowe just said, you know what? If you're going to kick up this much of a fuss, you can imagine the conversation, can't you? If you're going to kick this sort of fuss up, mate, here's the money back. If you feel this about it. And then to take that money back kind of says everything about your character that we need to know about Ben Habib, doesn't it? It really does. He's not a person to be trusted. I don't believe the person he portrays in public is really who he really is. I don't think that for 1 second. I think it's just a persona. I think in the background, the real Ben Habib is the person that took that donation back. That's the real Ben Habib. Because he always seems to chuck his toys out the pram when he doesn't get his own way. He's like a little spoiled child. It does. It says a hell of a lot about his character, doesn't it? I've seen the chat. I've seen their chats now. And I think a lot of people hate watch them now. Because the majority of the chat that they get is basically people poking fun at Richard Inman and taking the piss out of Paul Thorpe's teeth. Now, I don't condone that. I've done it myself. I don't condone that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. That was wrong. I don't do personal attacks or anything like that. That was wrong of me. I shouldn't have done that. But that's the majority of their chat. People in the chat taking the piss out of Paul Thorpe's teeth and poking fun at Richard Inman for being an idiot. That's all I see there. That's the majority of people that I see. Yeah. Thing is, though, if they do it to me, I don't care. I don't care really if they do it to me, because comments. This is what they don't understand, because they're so thin-skinned, right? If they're getting death threats, then they should have got the police involved. They should get the police to investigate it. Do you want to come in for a chat, Tom? Do you fancy a chat? Do you want to come in? I'll drop the link. You can come have a chat. I just feel like talking for a little bit. If you want to come in, mate. This is Tom, 00 News. He did an amazing live stream in Southampton Day covering the Southampton Patriots March down in Southampton. Tom's not just all mouth. He's boots on the ground patriot. He's a citizen journalist. He goes in there and he does the thing. He's just getting back on his feet. He's getting back into the swing of things. He took a year off, so he's just getting back into the swing of things, and he needs everybody's support. He's a really great guy. He really is. And he's my friend. He really is a true friend. Are you going to come in, mate? I'll drop the link, and if Tom wants to come in, he can come in. This is only for Tom. I'm only going to be accepting Tom in. So if any trolls try to come in, you just get kicked. Don't think I actually did that then. I actually copied that. He's coming in. He's coming for a chat. I'll drop the link in the chat for him. That's it. It's copied. If you want to come in, Gobster, you're quite welcome to do so as well, mate, while Tom's coming in. We can all have a chat. It's good to have a chat. Is the new microphone okay? Because I've stopped using the radio mics because I was getting a lot of interference on them from the computer. I think this one's a lot better. This is a basic streaming microphone, but it seems to be doing a better job. Tom's in, doing a better job.
Hey, buddy, your microphone sounds 10 times better.
Yeah, I've changed it. I've changed
it.
Mate.
Right. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What do you think to this comment, Tom?
Which one? This one. Right. I was just having a look.
Do you think this is within my character to do this sort of thing?
Well, I saw this when I logged on. I was like, I've never seen. Obviously, I'm going to say this because you're your mate, but I mean, I challenge anybody out there, anybody in the world, to show Vin going after anybody's family or making any comments about anybody who can't defend themselves. I challenge anybody to find it. That's how confident I am.
Yeah, if I'm going to say something about somebody, I'd invite them into the live stream and then talk to them in person about it.
That's just not the way you do things.
No.
Thank you for subbing, guys. Really appreciate it. No, that's not the way you do things. Everybody knows that. That's very dishonest, very disingenuous. I mean, there's enough shit flying around. That's disgusting. That comment's disgusting because they must know that they're lying.
So let's talk about your live stream today, mate. You did an amazing live stream today. It was awesome. I watched all of it. I wasn't. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I watched all of it. Yeah, it was amazing, and it was good to see you back to your same old self, mate. It really was.
I felt it. Thanks to you. You got a lot of people to come over. They were brilliant. A lot of you guys come over. Thank you for coming over and subbing and spending time with me. And it's like you said about encouragement. My God, it gave me an extra bit of encouragement, you know. And I learned just to relax again, like I used to, rather than trying to push for results. You relax into results, and I really enjoyed it. And the atmosphere there was like it used to be. Like everybody was on the same side, no factions, no, after the last few days, it was a break. It was a breath of fresh air from this person doesn't like this person, all gone. And even the speeches at the end, which I was a bit how that would go, they were great. The whole thing was great. I felt relaxed, and I felt relaxed enough to just let the camera roll through the whole day, which I haven't done in probably a couple of years now. But it was just one of those things where things were going to happen as they were. So I was proud of the people in Southampton. I was proud to have gone. I was glad that I went because I was in and ahhing about it. I was glad that I went. And also as well, because of what we stand for, Vin, and you've been down to my area, I also just didn't want I didn't want me to be producing just one type of content. And at the moment, it looks like, I wanted to get back to doing what we do best. And I feel like this has started the year off now with the activism as well, And
the thing is, we've got some plans coming up, haven't we, as well, mate?
Exactly.
We've got lots of things, but we're going to be going to some protests as well, aren't we, buddy?
With us having that coming up, I said to people, it's like my 2026 has started now. So I'm really looking forward to the stuff coming up with you.
You see where you've got some people, the big mouth, thin-skinned people in this movement that run away. We run straight into danger, don't we, mate? We don't
Yeah,
shy away from it.
absolutely. Absolutely. I saw something just before I switched on to yours. I don't know if this is gonna. I hope it doesn't put the cat amongst the pigeons, but Zionist, right, is a word for people that believe in a homeland for the Jews. Yeah, but my interpretation of it was that it was really a word for the Jews as well to describe themselves.
Well,
so it's not like someone in Russia shouldn't be really calling themselves a Zionist, should they?
not particularly, no. It's something that's very specific to their religion and their race.
So why is it that we've got people calling out ethno-nationalism, got people calling out Islam, but it's all right for every Englishman now, apparently, to say that they're a Zionist?
Yeah.
When's this come from? We used to deny that, and now it's the common thing for people to say, "Oh, yeah, I'm a Zionist." No, it's all right to not be against the Jews. That's not what I'm saying. But to say you're a Zionist, like, which country you putting first? And I heard someone make the argument, "Oh, no, it doesn't mean you're putting it ahead of your country. A Zionist just means you want a homeland for the Jews." Well, no, that's what it means to the Jews. But to us, like, Zionism is supposed to come first before everything else, same as Islam comes before. Yeah. So when I hear people in their own movement,
Tom, let's set this record straight where we stand on the Jewish people, right? So we're for the Jewish people to have their own freedom and stuff like that, but it's okay to criticize the Jewish government, the Israeli government. It's okay to do that, because let's look at this, right? Like, all governments around the world are not the good guys. They've all got their hands in some dodgy shit that we all don't know about. They're all the same.
Exactly.
So to set one particular government aside and say you can't touch that government, you can't criticize it, really, you can't do that.
Absolutely.
Right? I've got nothing against the Jewish people, nothing against those people. Well, I think it's like what Dino Bain said the other day, right? It's like the Islamists. The Zionists are like the Islamists. They've got this agenda, sort of thing, to keep pushing this certain narrative, and they are lobbying our government just as much as the Islamists are in a certain respect.
I spoke to a Jewish guy about this the other day, and he was in full agreement with me, by the way. I said to him, why would I distrust the American government, the British government, the Romanian government, every government in the world, basically, but trust the Jewish government, the Israeli government? They're still a government. They have their own agendas. None of them are in line with ours. They're a Middle Eastern country at the end of the day, and I couldn't really give a shit if they'll rip each other to pieces, if I'm perfectly frank. Nothing against the Jews, by the way. I'm talking about the government. But just because I'm not against the Jews, why does that mean I have to be a Zionist or that I have to love their government? All governments are shady as fuck. And the Israeli government have been doing exactly what the Saudi governments have been doing, and that is buying people out. So, and again, not the Jewish people, the government. So I'm not calling myself a Zionist. I'm worried about Britain.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I said this the other day, right? I don't care about foreign conflicts. I don't care. Our country is in such a state. We need full attention. And Rupert Lowe said it today, that we need full attention on this country, not outside forces. We need to stay out of foreign wars that have none of our business. We need to concentrate.
Especially when we can't fight them.
Yeah.
We can't fight wars, so we shouldn't be getting involved in them.
You'll be happy. Rupert Lowe's announced that he wants to repeal the Online Safety Act.
Yes!
He wants to get rid of it. He wants to protect free speech in law and all that kind of stuff. He came out in all his policies today. So, yeah.
Yes!
So.
Yes! Finally, someone does it. Finally, someone does it. This is what you call putting your money where your mouth is. I didn't think anyone would do it, Vin.
Yeah, he said it's got to
go. I didn't think anyone would do it.
I'll send you a link to it. Do you want to go through his policies now? I'll go through them again because I went through them before. Yeah, do you want to go through them?
That's the best news I've heard. Yeah.
I'll put it on screen for us. So can you see if I share screen, can you see it properly? Or did it
I'll see it on here, yeah. Yeah, because I can see it on here. Because I said just the other day, nobody's going to put this in their manifesto or whatever because of the ratchet effect. This will break the ratchet effect if he does it and he wins. Holy shit!
Yeah,
This is big.
he's going to bring back our fisheries. he's going to like tell the EU where to go, sort of thing. He's going to be. I think he's going to be generally be a strong leader. And it's what we
Right.
need, isn't it? Right.
Yes, definitely. Hi to people saying hi. And again, to the people that are saying you've subbed or whatever, thank you so much. I'm not ignoring you. Thank you so much.
Let's do it. Right. Share this now. Right. I'll bring them up on screen and I'll go through them, let you read them. Here we go. Right. So, can you see that, Tom? Do you want me to enlarge it a little bit?
It might just take a couple of seconds to come up on this other screen. Give it a couple of seconds. Oh, there's a delay. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me just...
I'll just enlarge it a little bit. Is that better? That's a bit better, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I just the entire asylum system will be abolished. The boats will stop. Net negative immigration. Far more must leave than arrive. That's very clear. If a foreign national can't speak English, wow! If a foreign national can't speak English, lives in social housing, claims benefits, doesn't work, hates our way of life, they go too. If millions go, because we can teach our own workforce. I get it. Close entire visa routes from countries proven to supply us with illegals. What have we been saying? Exactly. Criminals and sex pests, the immigration red list, or as I called it, blacklist. Same thing. We will discriminate. Yeah, we should discriminate against countries like Pakistan. This is brilliant. Carry on.
Does this next bit sound like as an ethno-nationalist? Let's read this next bit.
Bearer spouse visas, so the British men and women can bring their spouses to Britain without the endless bureaucracy and costs currently inflicted on them. No, not remotely ethno-nationalist.
Overhaul of British agriculture that puts growing and farming at the heart of any policy in rural Britain. Food security is national security. That is very, very true, isn't it?
It's also a way. So go on.
Go on, mate. You carry on.
I was just going to say, it's also a way of putting the economy back together, of making sure we're not a country of just offshore investments, and making sure we've actually got industries in this country again.
It goes further into that in a bit. It gets better. So it says slash red tape, simplify payments, ease planning laws, encourage farm diversification and more. Crucially, help youngsters into agriculture. We will ensure a level playing field for British farmers. So he's creating a workforce. That's what he's doing.
Yeah. Instead of sorry.
Go on, mate. Make your point.
I was going to say, instead of making it a place where people make these investments and F off, he's making it a place where it's actually good to have business here.
Yeah.
Restore Britain will also publish. Yeah, the British public sector will buy British. Exactly. Yeah, so that's what I meant. So support British farmers, producers, and small businesses. So he's getting the business, and that will also lead to an increase in British people working for British jobs.
Yeah. It says this: it will support British farmers, producers, and small businesses. We will encourage and fund youngsters to take up apprenticeships and learn a proper skill instead of some bullshit university degree. Teach children at school the life skills they will actually need in modern Britain. An education system that teaches, respects, and celebrates British history and the triumphant contribution of our little islands made to the world. This is just bringing Britain back, isn't it? And the thing is, Tom, there's nothing here that's controversial. Nothing at all.
No. See, some people pick on that lowest corporation tax in Europe, but what they don't understand is the British used to have an outstanding record in Europe for always having higher standards than Europe. That brings that back.
Yeah.
It brings it back, and it brings and at the moment it brings businesses back. Starmer's made this country unviable to do business in. Him lowering the corporation tax would make a massive difference. High streets restored, safe, secure, and welcoming. Yeah, because they're unsafe at the moment, as we've seen. Business rates for small businesses abolished because they're the ones struggling the hardest. Turkish barbers, he really is hitting them.
Yeah, he's going after him, mate. This is the environment. This is the environment he said he was going to create. He was going to create a hostile environment for these people so that he would deport themselves.
Yeah, well, do you know what? It worked in Germany because in Germany, a lot of them were leaving and going back to Syria because they didn't like the fact that the Germans were giving the women too much power.
Yeah.
So, fly tippers will be crushed under the law like that. Crushed. It will not be tolerated. Foreigners indulging in destruction of our countryside will be deported. Oh, I love this. Personal tax slashed. Trust families to spend the money, not the bureaucrats. If he can get half of this done,
Well,
this
apparently,
is
I didn't know this, right? If he puts it in his manifesto, these are promises that he has to keep.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I don't think it has to go through Parliament for a vote.
No, that's why so with Brexit, the reason that many of us didn't like the way Brexit was done was because they did it by referendum, which meant you were then subject to being pulled through court, but also because they didn't have a majority in Parliament, it meant it was impossible. Whereas if it had been on a manifesto, this is what a lot of us complained about. If a party had been brave enough to put the vote on a manifesto, we wouldn't have had all the problems leaving Europe that we had. So
And the
this
thing
is
is,
why I've been
mate,
called.
guess what else? Guess what else is put in his manifesto?
Go on.
Leaving the European Court of Human Rights.
Yes,
So
that is a big one because without that, we can get taken to court for what he's going to try and do.
so they can't do it now. If it's in the manifesto, they can't do that. So
Wow.
whereabouts were we? So we were at Turkish barbers, weren't we? Suspicious businesses investigated, graffiti cleaned, litter picked, pavements fixed. We will make Britain clean again. We will take pride in our communities again. He's going to build communities.
People wanted him to speak out. Here he is. Look at this. And I'll tell you what, this is what you see in other countries around Europe. People taking pride in the businesses and the area around it, the roads. People take pride, we've lost communities. That's why we don't take pride in them. But I saw a bit of community today. That it's still there. And people start taking pride in things again. That's what will happen.
He said we will implement free parking in select areas to drive back footfall from the retail parks back into our town centres. Councils will be forced to accept common sense.
Yeah, because councils have been ripping people off for too many years because they got people by the balls, and it needs to stop.
Yeah. Personal tax slashed. We've covered that, haven't we? Personal slash.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Reform family courts.
Yeah, this is a good one. Put pro-family policy at the heart of everything we do. If British families want to have more children, let's use our power of the state to enable that. He wants to increase the population, mate, because he knows
that is a big move. Because you know about the population crash coming. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's well on that.
Wow.
Right, we'll get on that.
This guy is super smart.
Yeah, and you know what? These are all policies similar to what Donald Trump has done. There's nothing different into what Donald Trump's been doing, really.
I'm not going to go into it right now, but how has this guy got so brutalized when he's capable of all this?
Because they're scared, mate. They're scared of what he's going to do. That's why. The deep state's scared. Maybe that's why. You said it yourself. Look at the way they've been tackling. Why haven't Advance focused on attacking the far left? Why have they concentrated all their attacks on Restore Britain? Why?
Yeah.
Why have they done that?
I agree. I still think, and it keeps coming out more and more and more that and again, I don't want to get back into this, but the more and more that's said, I think that it keeps coming out of their own mouths. Centre left, centre. Even the people that have been attacking me on my channel. Oh, I'm centre left, not realising what they're telling me.
Yeah.
Oh, are you? You're centre left. No wonder you're upset with all this then.
So, like I said, reform family courts so that good, decent fathers and mothers are not kept away from their children for malicious reasons. This is important. Trust parents to make the best decisions for their families. A limited number of days per term time holiday for well-developed children. This is just common sense. Restore Britain.
I know a guy called Sean on the left, but I know he would appreciate that policy very much, even though he's on the left, because he's been at the hard end of that.
It needs to be done, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Restore Britain will make Britain safe again. No nonsense policing that does what it needs to do. Widespread stop and search. Accusation of racism will stop nothing. Brutal sentences for carrying a
Oh,
knife.
hang on. Let's say that again. Why is there stop? Accusations of racism will stop nothing. Oh, I like it. What I realise what he's saying.
Yeah. That means you're not going to be protected by the race card anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Brutal
Brutal.
sentences for carrying a knife.
Foreign criminals were deported. Third world sex pests removed before their feet touch the ground. Welfare radically slashed back. Those who can work will work. Litter picking, graffiti, cleaning,
And
whatever
what does that
else.
say? But what does that say that he's just said there? He said third world sex pests removed before their feet can touch the ground. So that means he's saying that they already fucking know who the sex pests are.
Yeah, they won't be touching the ground, mate. What he's going to do is, I suspect, he's going to remove the right to claim asylum if you come here illegally. Therefore, you can't claim asylum anymore. Therefore, you're deported straight away. Goodbye. And that's why he's coming out of the European Court of Human Rights.
Yeah. I get that. Somebody said a real state of accountability. That accountability is a great word to use.
Right, so we've covered that. Support those Brits who generally need the help, particularly children. But under Restore Britain government, the piss take will end. A foreign policy that puts the British interest above all else. Proudly and unapologetically, we won't participate in a never-ending foreign wars. We will act when and only when the British interest is served. Rebuild, rearm Britain. We will have a big stick and we will wave it when we want.
And that's the point. He gets it. Rebuild and rearm Britain before you even talk about fucking weapons and wars.
Yeah, this
wow.
Is what I like.
This is common sense.
It is. This is what reform should have given us, but they didn't. A comprehensive support system for British veterans, including fast-track recruitment into immigration enforcement field roles. Our ICE.
Wow.
He's going to create an ICE using ex-military, mate.
That's perfect. That fixes different problems across the Gulf at the same time. That's really well thought out. That's no dum-dum's idea. That's really well thought out. Probably people think I'm if anybody thinks I'm glazing Rupert Lowe, right? I've not seen this before, so I'm genuinely impressed. I didn't know he was capable of this.
That stops getting veterans on the streets, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Right, so arbitrary foreign aid targets will serve no British interest. Gone. Restore Britain will reverse the creeping Islamification of Britain. No burqas, Sharia courts, halal slaughter, and so on. Cousin marriage will be banned. That's the environment he's creating. He's getting rid of the environment where they can propagate and dictate.
Like you said, Ben. Like you said, they won't want to be here.
No, they'll deport themselves.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's the best way of doing this. Make them not want to be here, because then there won't be any court cases or anything else, because they will get themselves out.
Yeah, they'll go somewhere else.
We made them want to be here. Not we. Our governments have made them want to be here. So it's right. Making them not want to be here is actually a really great way of doing it.
This is the best bit. This is not the country for you. This is Britain. We do things our way.
I actually appreciate. Sorry, go on.
Anti-white racism eradicated. No more DEI. The woke bullshit will end. Self-defense rights restored. If an intruder tries to kill you in your home and they end up dead, so be it. That's their problem. Pepper spray legalized.
Wow.
That's creating deterrent, isn't it? That's saying to the criminals, enter anybody's house at your own peril. If you die, it's on you.
Absolutely. I fucking hope this guy gets in power now after all this.
This is why I've been throwing my weight behind him.
I can't believe he's put. Sorry, Vin. Sorry, mate. I can't believe he's put all this out, because this is everything I said they wouldn't put into a manifesto.
But this is what's going into it, mate. This is it. This is all his policies that he's going to be trying to push forward. Right, so he said this: end war on motorists, cut fuel duty, no more 20-mile-an-hour zones, sort out our decaying roadwork. Biological reality respected. Men are men, women are women. No amount of surgery will ever change that. Inheritance tax abolished for farms, for small business, for everyone. The scam will end. Death will no longer be taxed under a Restore Britain government. And this is what he's doing. That I say that he's doing the same thing as Donald Trump. He's creating infrastructure. So he's saying a government that prioritises building roads, bridges, and projects here in Britain. That's to get the economy going. That's to provide jobs, to create money, so the economy can grow again, isn't it? You build infrastructure. It's the same thing that Donald Trump did when he said we're going to create infrastructure. You get the economy going. Yeah.
I don't know whether he sat down with a committee of people, whether he did this by himself, but this is the most well thought out. It's picked on every major problem and attacked it. I've not seen something like this in a long, long time. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's one thing being words. It's another thing living up to it and seeing it through. But nevertheless, it's the first party I've seen brave enough to do it.
Thing is, though, mate, I think he's going to build up a team. You know what the best thing to do is to have Ant Middleton in his team. Ant Middleton will be brutal.
That's actually
brutal.
A really good idea, especially after what Ant's been through of late.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I know. I think Ant deserves better than his dad. So yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. Actually,
we've got 156 watching, mate, at the minute. Right.
Fair play.
Let's have a look at some people in the chat. Steve, very true. I think they're all talking about Paul Thorpe. Richard Inman at the minute. They've got their own little thing going on, but that's okay. Let's.
Well, we've done our bit, haven't we?
We've done our bit, mate. We've achieved what we achieved, haven't we, mate? Right, mate.
It's gone viral. Oh right, dear. Well, as I said the other day, we wouldn't keep doing it if they didn't keep saying it. So
yeah. An infrastructure first housing policy. Developers forced to fund proper infrastructure before a shovel goes in the ground. British homes for British families. A government that prioritises building roads, bridges, and projects here in Britain. Can you even imagine it?
We need homes desperately.
Yeah. We will pursue a British first energy strategy. Net zero will be scrapped. Domestic energy production will be ruthlessly prioritised. End lockdown policy legacy. Inquiry into COVID vaccine harms.
Oh, hang on. Stop, Vin. End the lockdown legacy.
Yeah.
What does that mean? That's an interesting statement. Is he trying to say that tactic will never be allowed to be used again?
That's what he's saying, mate. Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Because that suggests then that lockdown strategy is still open to be used.
Yeah, but it's still in law. The
that's what I'm saying. So I see. Right.
It's
okay.
Still in there. So I think he's going to repeal that. He'll repeal that.
Right.
The COVID Act. Get rid of it.
Got you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So end the lockdown legacy. Inquiry into COVID vaccine harms. Lockdown convictions quashed. A truly independent look at how it was all allowed to happen. Some people are going to be shitting their pants with this, aren't they?
Yes.
Right. This is one you like. No digital ID ever. Repeal the Online Safety Act. Protect free speech.
Yes. Free speech. Protect free speech. And I like the way he doesn't say, do this with free speech, do that with it, make this legal, just protect free speech. Well, I've always said you don't fuck with free speech because you'll always get the wrong person messing with it. You just protect it. Perfect.
Defund the rotten BBC, make it a subscription service and let it wither on the vine. Wow.
Love it.
A binding referendum on the reintroduction of the death penalty for the most evil criminals. One of my favourites. A national strategy working from the findings of the rape gang inquiry to ruthlessly tackle and decapitate the national crime network of primarily Pakistani Muslim sexual slavery, torture, and murder. Ooh.
Wow, that will be interesting.
Yeah. This is one that's going to put the cat amongst
the
pigeons,
mate. Do you think if he was getting power, do you think there'll be a mass exodus on day one? Just for people getting out of rape gang inquiries.
They'll leave, and not just the Pakistanis, but the people that enabled it as well. They'll be going.
Yes,
they'll leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Restore Britain will end political Islam, abolish postal voting except for those in genuine need. remove voting rights for foreign nationals. Foreign language translation ended in the NHS and beyond. You live in England, you speak English.
Damn right. Damn right.
It's just common sense. There's no other country in the world that would allow you into the country unless you spoke the national language.
No, that's right. That's right.
There-
We've been treated like idiots. We've been made to expect it to be normal to have people who can't communicate with us, and we're called bigots if we moan about it. It's absolutely insane. Literally, you phone up a hospital now and you get someone on the phone who cannot speak English, and then when you do speak to another person, you say that lady can't speak English. They go, "Yes, you can." Well, nobody else complains. You know, oh, for fuck's sake, please,
Yeah.
you know.
The NHS will be restored to a national health service, national in big letters, capitalised health service, serving British people as its first and only priority. It will accept
meaning not international.
Yeah. It will accept ultra-high skilled migrants to work. It will not support millions of low-skilled migrants who contribute nothing yet take so much. It's hitting them hard, isn't he?
Yep.
Free car parking for NHS staff.
Like you said, and like your chat saying, they'll be deporting themselves.
Yeah. Free car park for NHS staff, patients and visitors on tight permits. We all pay for NHS. We shouldn't be ripped off for sodding parking too. He's right, isn't he? We pay for it, so why should we pay for parking as well?
Yeah.
Especially medical staff.
The medical staff where I am in Southampton, they have to pay. I don't know what it is now, but even back in 2022, it was a ridiculous amount per day. They've got to live, I think it's 5 miles away. There's still not enough room to park, and all their wages go on like the parking. The people who work there cannot park there. It's disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, common sense would say you built a staff car park. Build a staff car park.
But they know, you see, I don't know if it's what it's like at other hospitals. They know at the hospital we've got, because there's fighting over parking, people will pay anything.
Yeah, it's wrong. It's like a monopoly, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Wrong. We shouldn't be ripping off the sodding parking to, especially medical staff. Medical school caps will be demolished. We will allow talented young British men and women to train in medicine. The NHS will then be forced to employ them over foreign staff. Right, good.
It should have happened a long time ago.
Yeah. We will prioritise our own people, reclaim our fisheries, take back our seas, take back our fish. We will take back control, finally. The Quangas
that's also really a promise to properly leave Europe.
Yeah, he is. I think he's going to cut all the ties, isn't he? That's what he's going to do.
I'll tell you what. Sorry, go on, Vin.
Oh, go on, mate. Sorry.
I'm just going to say, there's a lot there. There's a lot to live up to.
There is.
But if you look at the way, like you said, if you compare it to Trump just has rushed things through where necessary. I say rushed, you know what I mean. And I think that someone can, if someone's serious about this and they're not scared of the media and they're not scared of the backlash, someone can do this. Someone can do this.
Right, that anybody trying to oppose any of this is going to look really bad.
Yes. Yes, I think. Really bad. Well, I think they'll end up exposing themselves because they're only going to be able to come at this from a couple of different directions. I'm centrist. Oh, really? I thought you were on the right with all of that. Oh, so you were in the right-wing movement and you were in the centre the whole time. Not a great argument. And the other one is sorry, you would agree because I've lost myself now, Ben. I did have a quirky second answer. I can't remember what it was, but a lot of it is because they'll be coming from the centre. Oh, about going against this. The only other reason you've got to go against this is what? What other reason could there be to go against this? It's either you're not of that political vein, or what? What other reason could you have? Is that you're scared of the media? You're scared of the backlash? You're another Farage party. So we don't need those. So go on.
Right. Who in the chat is really looking forward to a Prime Minister's question time when you've got Rupert Lowe taking on the Labour Party or others in opposition at the time? That would be something to see, wouldn't it? Because he's not going to take any shit whatsoever from them, from that seat. He's just going to give them both barrels, and he's not going to care. at all.
I really hope. I don't bear in mind, I know so much less about Rupert Lowe than many of you, including you, Vin. I really hope that if he does get power, and that's a big ask because he's got to go from nothing to massive in 3 years. But if he does get power, I really hope he is the guy to do this, and he seems to be, because I would vote for this all day long. All day long.
Right, let's have a look at this
I'm
one,
so
right?
excited about these things actually being repealed, Vin.
I am too, totally. Right, this guy's comment. Rupert has had 50 years to do something. He's not been a prime minister. He's not been a member of parliament for 50 years, has he? For starters. I can't remember seeing him in the National Front or BNP. Why would he be? Where have you been, bro? Making a mint as our kids got fiddled.
Can you speak English? Do you speak English?
Yeah, really.
Do you speak English, motherfucker?
I think you're just
look at the way you're writing. Making a mint as your kids got fiddled. My farmer off your tractor, bitch. What the fuck are you talking about? Do you speak English?
Yeah.
Do you speak English, you fucking mong? Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it's like, he wasn't.
Well, who speaks like that?
Nobody. Literally nobody. But these are the sort of defeatist people that we're up against, mate. This is why we're in the state we're in now, because people like this won't vote because I'm going to cry me cornflakes.
Yeah. There's always there's a guy who does a show. We should start doing on our things we do in the future. Vin, just have a section with suffering.
No, we should have Tom. We should have twat of the week. You know, they have like plank of the week. We should have twat of the week.
Nah, Thorpe will win every week. No. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Only every other week. No. But you're right. You're right about that. And there's always going to be.
Now it's a joke. Is it a joke now?
Oh, it's a joke, right? Okay.
It's a joke now. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Now.
You fucking morons! Which is what you're showing your humour with your fucking morons. I'm joking, you fucking morons.
Yeah. with these gangster roadman talk.
Yeah. Gangster talking shit. Which just made him sound like a mong. Because I've been at a demo all day and I'm still sharper than you, mate.
Oh,
Jesus. Oh dear, you've got to love him. Give him a big hug.
This is what we're up against. Go and cuddle your teddy bear, mate. Right, the Kwangossi will end. I can't pronounce that word. It's late. Kwangossi. Right, that's how I'll do it. Will end. Power will return to the people through their MPs. Parliament will be empowered.
Quangocracy.
Yeah, Quangocracy.
Jesus Christ, that was a word and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah. Power will return to the people through their MPs. Parliament will be empowered. Restore Britain will crush the parasitic state. It will be hacked back in the most spectacular fashion, unlike anything Britain has seen before. I cannot wait. A Restore Britain government will protect our people, protect our interests, protect our borders. We will leave you alone to build a business, work hard, raise a family, and enjoy your success in a safe, secure Britain. Finally, a political party that will put the British people first. Restore Britain. That's amazing.
If he can live up to it, which is, and the reason I say that is because it's a lot to live up to. But if he can, I look forward to the future of Britain.
Yeah, I tell you what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to build up a massive team, a team like Avengers of every hard-hitting person he can find that is going to hit the ground running when they get into Parliament. That will make the people that want to try and stop this make the head spin. That they won't have time to react to.
Yeah,
straight in.
And somehow as well, I don't know if this would be possible, but somehow they really could do with smashing an election rather than just winning it. So that when they come to this manifesto, they are just getting a majority in Parliament with everything. So that things just get pushed straight through. You know?
So they have a mandate. You mean a mandate? So they've got a mandate to do everything they need to do.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That would be fantastic. So don't get me wrong, it's a long way away, but this is the perfect first step. He's addressed all the things I was worried that they wouldn't. Like I said to you, the repealing of things. Um, I'm so made up with that someone's thought about that. That really does show you that someone is trying to address not just the things that they hear the loudest. They're trying to look at every fucking thing that's, sorry, my language, everything that's been done wrong to us, this country, and everything else, and put it all right. That is the most comprehensive list I think I've seen, and from anybody.
You see, the thing is, he surrounded himself, like Donald Trump, with people who these things have actually affected, and that's who's advising him.
Yeah.
So he's getting a real world view. He's getting a real world view of the view of Britain, not the Westminster bubble vision of Britain. He's getting a real view of what Britain's actually like at the minute, and he's lived it himself. He's had his guns taken away from him from two-tier policing. He's lived it. He's had the attacks. So
and what does it say now? What does it say now about reform? About how weak they actually are. When you see him putting out that, how weak does that make Farage's statements look for the whole time that he's been the head of reform? How weak does it make other parties look in comparison to the statements they put out? And then also even withdrew back from them because of a bit of media heat.
It makes them look like, I mean, there's a meme going around a minute on X, I'm sure you've seen it, where it's got the two school kids, it's got the one copying off the other one, and it's got Reform Britain, like looking at Restore Britain copying all the policies, because everything that Restore Britain's doing is now a policy of Reform UK. And the thing is, they're going to be held to that. Even if Rupert Lowe doesn't get into power first time around, he might force them to do this through the threat of coming into power.
Oh yeah, even if he took the role of pressure group, which I hope not, but if he took the role of pressure group, it would be such a pressure. I mean, look, Farage did it with UKIP and a vote. Imagine if they were really breathing down the parties' necks. People would. You're right.
Snapping at Reform's heels at every turn, and they'd be forced to just do this.
You're right. They would. Because they know they'd lose power pretty much straight away. So yeah, I think you're right. I think as long as you've got people going this direction, one way or another, let's put it this way, things look a lot better than they did. And if we stay on this path, whoever gets there or whatever, it's looking better than it was looking before. What we've got to try and do is remember that we've got to fight for this country for the 3 years in between.
Yeah, we've got to keep people's powder dry, because don't explode in the summer no matter what storm of doors or anything like that. That there's a real chance we can set, and this is our final chance, by the way. This is the last chance.
Oh yeah.
So I would say 2029 is the last. I mean, it might not even be 2029. It could be sooner. So maybe that's why he's rushing these policies out, ready to show people what he's capable of. And so if there's a snap general election, vote for me.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, he's built. Everybody that's defecting to him is building infrastructure really fast. He's already got branches moving out into the country already.
Right.
He's only going 2 weeks, so.
See, I still think as well. Sorry, go on.
He hasn't had time to respond to Advance UK. He's too busy fixing the country. It's like, you keep mouthing off. You destroy yourselves. I'll just carry on trying to fix the country.
I'll tell you what, I'm putting all my own emotions and feelings to one side and trying to be objective just for one moment. I don't understand why Advance have done what they've done, because they were liked by so many, and they have put themselves in such a bad light just by like Better Beeb. And it's like, I don't get it, because let me put it this way. Even if whoever side you're on, if you like Better Beeb, I get it. I totally get it. But he's coming across like a petulant child at the moment. And if I was an Advance member, he would have lost my vote the way he's behaving at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I think, well, hang on a minute. If you're cracking under this kind of pressure, what will you be like coming a general election, or when you've got all these big issues to deal with? Like these are tests for both Rupert and for Better Beeb. This next 3 years is their test to see if they're prime minister material.
And this on screen right now, this summed it up for me. This is what broke the camel's back for me when he was talking about stuff, Better Beeb. is when he took back that 5k refund from the grooming gang inquiry. That's a sign of a dishonest man and not an honourable man. Did you know about that?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it all.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought it was a something and nothing at first, and then I just thought it was really petty to ask for it back. And then the way that Habib dealt with it, I was really surprised at. I was shocked at, to be honest. And I thought it seemed very, very petty. But what I will say, and I said it this morning, is it's politics, guys. It's party politics. Nothing surprises me.
Yeah,
you know, and that's what we've got to remember. It's not activism; it's party politics, and this is party politics. They're petty, they're spiteful. You know.
You know what he's done. He's wasted his momentum on attacking Restore, and he's burnt himself out. He's burnt any good faith people had towards him. He's done it. He's done it for himself.
Thing is, this is what
this is what he should have done, Tom. Right? Instead of like announcing straight away the day after Restore was announced, saying we want to merge with you, he should have said, we look forward to working with Restore Britain on all their projects going forward in the future.
Right. And this is why I'm saying I'm not saying in 3 years' time, I'm talking about today. As of today, I don't think that Ben Habib is fit to run the country. And I base that on these responses and his response to Restore. Because a seasoned party and politician would have either waited and kept quiet, or they would have said, welcome to the fold, congratulations, good luck. And like you said, maybe waited a while before approaching with other things. What they wouldn't have done is gone on constant attack. I don't think the Conservatives would have been stupid enough to do that. Labour, they know when to shoot and when not to. And it seems like you said, they just blew their wad attacking them for creating this party, and that is literally all they did was create a party.
I'll tell you what they did, the mistake they made, and this is because they had this false sense of superiority because they've been the only party out so long that could offer any sort of alternative to reform.
Yeah,
they thought they had a bigger bargaining chip than they really had because they didn't have anything at all.
Yeah. Well, I wondered, what do you think? And again, this is just speculation. I don't know. But I wondered whether when because I've never been inside a party like that. I wondered when you're inside that party, it must become the be all and end all to you. And I wonder if some of these people have been surrounded in a bubble. That's what I'm going to say. And I wonder if, because it's their be all and end all, they thought it was everybody else's.
Yeah, I think they thought they were bigger than they actually were. I mean, they had 40,000. Yeah. They had 40,000 members. And they thought, oh, they're not going to rise. Then all of a sudden, they were straight past them overnight.
Yeah,
they were like 100,000 members, and I think it shocked them. They thought we've just lost our bargaining power because everybody's rushing towards. And you know what? Restore has actually tapped into that untapped resource of the people who don't want to vote. They're the people that are becoming members of Restore Britain. Yeah, they've tapped into them. Yeah. The people that said they'd never vote again are now putting their faith in Rupert Lowe.
But again, I don't want to bring too much up, but that's what made me laugh when certain people were talking about how they were desperate for union in the country, and then ripping people down a couple of days later. And I'm just like, do you want union or don't you? Because you can't have union, then sit and rip Rupert Lowe to pieces for doing exactly what you wanted to do.
And we now know things that we didn't know before. They were talking about a merger as to reasons why he wouldn't want a merger. We had the whole incident that took place in October, which was when Ben Habib asked for the refund back, which would have put a bad taste in Rupert Lowe's mouth.
Oh, yeah,
This man isn't honourable, so I don't trust him at all. And then we had the whole infighting with the college. Rupert Lowe doesn't like the College of Advanced whatsoever. He doesn't like it.
I think everything that we've seen as well subsequent is a bloody good enough reason not to want to join that party.
Well,
especially sorry. Exactly. Yeah. But imagine if they're like that publicly. Remember, for a political party, your public face is the one that you want, is the one that you most want people to see. Imagine how toxic it must be privately then.
Yeah. I mean, I've said this in the live stream before this one. I said, the Ben Habib we see in public isn't the real Ben Habib. The Ben Habib that took back that donation is the real Ben Habib. That's the real personality. It's a vindictive, nasty, bitter man That's the real Ben Habib. The one you see in
Don't know
public,
enough
obviously,
about
that's
him.
his political face. That's his political
Yeah.
face, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about him, but what I saw recently was not a very smart or clever or well-adjusted politician.
No, he's not. I think he's unstable, and I know we all at the time were thinking, why have they kicked Ben Habib out of reform? Maybe this is why. Maybe it was legitimate. Maybe him being kicked out was actually legitimate. But what they
You
did to
never
Rupert Lowe
know.
was disgusting. You don't know, do you?
It could be. You could have a point. You could have a point. You never know the truth with politics. You never know until down the line, do you?
No, and
So
he's
you're not allowed to say things.
he's kind of revealed himself a little bit more now. It's like, well, if this was happening now and you were being kicked out of reform and all this came to light, I was saying reform did the right thing. They did the right thing in kicking you out because you're toxic.
And someone said there as well, especially when Ben has lost a lot of dosh. It's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you think of it in those terms as well. But so and I agree with that. Ben was never the man. I think maybe that's more of the truth. I mean, I'm sorry, but I saw when I was first saw Ben Habib, I was like, no problem with him exactly, but I didn't see him as prime minister.
No.
Right from day one, to be honest with you.
What did he say when he first set up Advance UK? I've set this up for Rupert Lowe to lead. I don't want to be a leader. That's what he said. So he was a reluctant leader from the start. He never wanted to lead. And it shows on him. It's showing him that he's not a leader. He doesn't want to lead. He wanted to be chairman. He wanted Rupert Lowe to be leader. That's what he wanted.
And
he just doesn't,
to me, it's all about the bunts. It's all about the bunts. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. He hasn't got the ability to lead a party. He's got personality for it. He's not a leader.
And maybe
and I'll be honest with you, Tom, like, it doesn't help we've got two absolute lunatics like Paul Thorpe and Richard Inman in your ear, whisper in your ear. Yeah, it's going to make things very difficult.
I'll tell you what, if I was Ben Habib, I don't know. Listen, I don't know how much he listens to them. If I was Ben Habib, I'd either be sacking them, or he's completely under control of them. I have no idea, but they would do my head in. I mean, even I don't want to go into those guys too much because I feel like I've said too much. But even with Paul Thorpe, you can see a tongue go over his mouth sometimes when Richard speaks. You know.
Oh, here we go. We've got a stop those disgraceful slands of Ben Habib. He's a very decent man. Well, his actions prove the contrary, don't they?
Oh, take us to court. Take us to court.
You know what it is, Tom, don't you? It's that internet meme of leave Brittany alone. Leave Brittany alone.
Why is it everybody that's criticising us tonight is speaking in gangster? Slanders of Ben Habib. These disgraceful slanders. Oh, whatever.
It was going to happen. We're going to have some Ben Habib sycophants coming in that just can't accept.
I don't mind people supporting Ben Habib, but pretending that he's a perfect human being is silly when he's made a complete cock of himself.
Yeah, I mean, he brought all this on himself. He's done this himself. Nobody else has done it to him.
Yes.
Somebody came up to him with a silver plate with a self-destruct button, and he said, "Oh, thank you. I'll press that."
Right, and that's the thing. If he'd been lulled into something, fooled into something different, but when you press that button yourself, I'm sorry, I don't feel sorry for that. He's got to learn from that and grow, and prove that he can learn and grow. In which case, he might be a viable option in the future, or he can act like that and be all pissy about it, and he'll get nowhere.
Yeah, so decently abandoned Wales. Yeah. Do you see what he did to the Welsh team? He just cut them off at the knees and just stopped.
Fuck you guys. Yeah. So
decent guy. Without any warning, blocked them from all social media.
And there you go there. Actions speak louder than words. And I think that's one of the most important things of the day because there's been a lot of words recently.
So this is what he actually said when he was taking back the donation. Given your antipathy or whatever that is, was it empathy? Empathy, yeah. Antipathy, yeah, that's it. My eyes, mate. To my inquiry, yes, please, I take you upon your offer of having my 5,000 returned. Ben Habib's message to Lowe. What sort of man does that?
Yeah, but it's the giving your antipathy at the beginning, isn't it? That's his justification, which is
Yeah.
just a stuck up way of saying I'm being an awkward prick.
Yeah. Well, what the
Um,
thing is, right? Apparently, the whole argument was about that Ben Habib wasn't getting regular updates about the grooming gang inquiry, but everybody else was saying they were getting regular updates because they're all on the same mailing list.
yeah,
So they were getting regular updates, which is they're not going to reply to everybody individually. Oh, it's going to be a mailing list, obviously.
exactly. I
And
think
it's
what I
like,
saw in my sorry, go on.
and the thing is, right? If you didn't get regular updates, you just go to Rupert and say, "Excuse me, mate, can you do a back date
Yeah,
of all the updates so I can catch up?" That's what you do.
exactly. No, I did a video. Was it yesterday morning? This morning, I'm sorry, I'm losing track with the demo today, mate. But there was people on there saying, and I agree with them. By the way, I agree. If you were on that video, I agree with you. And that a lot of people were saying, look, this argument's got to stop. We've got to sort our country. I agree with you guys. I agree with you. And it's why I do want to move on. However, I'm not going to promise never to make another video because if they go above and beyond to crucify someone, I'm going to call it out. But with that said, I'm in agreement with many of you. That's why I went to do what I did today. That's why me and Vinna got plans. It's time to move forward and help save our country because those idiots ain't going to bother. They're going to sit in the same studio doing the same shows. Someone's got to. We will be doing it.
Yeah, we'll put boots on the ground. I mean, you've got to ask yourself, how many protests have they been to apart from the United Kingdom rallies?
Which they've got a nice cooking seat for.
Yeah, have they actually been to any other rallies and promoted them? I
Oh,
know Richard Inman's I think Richard Inman's done a few in Northern Ireland, but has he been to any in England where he's been to the grooming gang hotels to give his support?
Richard used to do a lot of work in England a decade ago.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I agree.
No,
I agree, mate.
look, Richard's done stuff. Richard's done stuff, but at the same time, what he killed that for me when he sat in his office saying, "I've done more than anybody else in the movement, or nearly anybody else in the movement." And I was like, "Oh wow, that's a lot of people you've just shit on."
Right, so we'll cover this one. Everyone needs to know there's no single leader that is perfect. No, that's true. That's true.
True.
The UK needs the UK needs to just unite on one, if ever possible. Well, that's it. You know what needs to be done to that? Advanced UK need to fold. They need to give up the ghost and just say we lost. We didn't have the momentum. Yeah. We're done. They're just going to be another UKIP with not many members and just a shallow, tacit following of zealots that follow them. That's it.
And the other thing as well is what would be great this time is if we're voting for the best of what's available rather than the worst of the evils.
Yeah, exactly. We won't be picking the lesser of evils. It'll be like, we're picking this guy because he's the best thing out there.
Yeah. And that'll be the first time I voted in an election where I'm actually wanting the person to win rather than wanting them to be the worst, the least worst candidate.
Yeah, I think they proved that, Seffi, didn't they? They proved that with the by-election when they got, 165 votes. They proved they're not the good option. Nobody
which they blamed on everybody else again.
Yeah.
There's no accountability.
I mean, I don't think even Ben Habib put a statement out about the loss. I think he just pushed over it.
No, someone else did that, but they just blamed everybody else. And it's like, see, this is the problem where you keep blaming everybody else. You're missing the target. And quite frankly, the British public are sick of excuses and blaming other people. You were in the elections. You took part in them. Why didn't you get results?
Well, from what I heard, I think we all saw it as well. Reform threw Matt Goodwin under the bus. They just discarded him straight away as soon as he lost. It's like, no, we don't associate Richard. Is it Richard Bull? It's David Bull, the deputy leader, supposedly. The puppet deputy leader, because Zahir Yusuf is really the real leader, deputy leader behind the closed doors, isn't he? He came out and said we don't support what he's been saying, because I think he said that he said something controversial like, we need mass deportations. Like, said that's not reform policy. And it's like, well, it is, because Nigel Farage just said it is. So
they are a bunch of they're another bunch of conservatives, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're not another nasty party.
What it is, they're a bunch of conservatives on a life raft without a rudder. That's what they are.
Yeah,
They've got
yeah,
no direction
yeah.
whatsoever, except where the current takes them. That's it.
Yeah, so I see someone saying on here, and did someone say they came below the Monster Raven Looney Party?
Yeah, that was Advanced UK. They got less votes than that guy. But you know, in all of this, right? Nick Buckley, I like Nick Buckley a lot. You know, Nick Buckley, the
Yeah,
MD. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. He was a really good sport about it because you know what he did? He actually took a picture with the guy who was the
Oh,
Raven
fair
Monster.
play to him.
Took a photo
Fair
with
play
him.
to him.
Yeah,
That's
took it
actually
in good
really
spirit.
cool.
Took
Yeah,
it in
no,
good
that's how
spirit.
you should take it. That's really
Yeah.
cool. I actually I'd see other people and they're really shitty about if you're gonna lose, that's how you lose. I'll tell you what, respect to him for losing like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry that he threw his lot in with Advance UK. Maybe he's just like thrown his lot in with Restore Britain and got a lot more support from Rupert Lowe. If they would have put a Restore candidate in there, you know what, they might not have won it, but I don't think they would have lost it under the Monster Raven Looney Party. But there you go. It's a bit embarrassing, that, isn't it? It's a bit embarrassing.
Yeah, so I don't know.
UK.
I don't know Nick, by the way. So I've heard he's a good bloke. So I'm not really laughing at him. I'm not laughing at the party. But
Yeah.
if he handled it like that, respect, total respect.
He's done a lot of work in local areas in Manchester for, like, you know, grooming gangs, helping local kids getting out of trouble and stuff like that. He's somebody that's actually given back to his community, but he couldn't get the votes because of the Muslim bloc vote.
Right.
The fact that let's face it, mate. What fledgling party that's only been going for 9 months puts a candidate into a by-election where they're not even really properly set up yet? It was a bad move because it just makes you look weak from the outset because you lost big time and now people have lost faith in you because they think you'll never achieve anything.
Yeah,
they should have waited until they got the numbers, really.
You're right. Yes, I totally agree. I tell you what, things really didn't go how a lot of these people thought, did it? Really. But I think the best thing happened that could have happened because everybody's been put on warning now. Yeah. We will be losing to the Greens or some leftist party if we don't pull it out before the next election.
I'm interested in this one. I'm interested in this comment. Right, so Restore has its faults, but they gave hope to the non-voter. I wish them success. So what are their faults? Because that'd be interesting to list. Because, you know, we've talked about the positives. Let's have some negatives about Restore Britain, just to balance it out a bit. Restore. Okay. Yeah. Rupert Lowe one, Tom.
Oh, sorry. Right, so are you asking me?
No, I'm asking the guy that's posted about.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he said this. Look, Restore has its faults, but they've given hope to the non-voter. I wish them success. I'm just interested in what faults they actually have. Just out of curiosity.
I suppose for me, if I was to think of some faults, I'd say maybe not faults because the lack of experience is what happens when you start a new party, but maybe lack of known MPs. But at the same time, you don't want to be going and getting MPs from old parties.
No,
so
I think that's the point.
Sorry, go on.
That's the point, isn't it? You don't want to be recruiting from the old parties, otherwise you're just going to get accused of being another reform.
Yeah. So I think I wouldn't call it a fault, but I would say that he needs to build up a lineup that we all respect.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was a fault exactly. But at the moment, if I was to try and say what's wrong with it now, I'd say that he needs to build up some more faces that we trust.
Yeah, I think what he needs to do is, if he's going to have complete unknowns, then he has to give a complete biography of what they've actually done, so we can look at them and see what they've actually done in the past. Yeah,
because I think this is the mistake that the other parties have made. They've relied on Ben Habib or Nick Tenconi, and relying on one name is a problem.
Yeah,
we've seen that.
We know who Ant Middleton is, so that would be a good choice. And
exactly.
I would suggest that he doesn't pick anybody from the centre right. Nobody from the centre right, because they're just going to be wishy-washy, pathetic.
Well, I think as well, haven't they proved themselves now, the centre right, and centre left that they are, really, haven't they proven themselves now to lack the backbone to need to do what needs to be done? Haven't they proven that now?
They're ineffective. Well, what have we said, Tom? We've got a complete hard right block, hard left out there. That's the opposition. So if you send in a centre right party, they're just going to get squashed because they're going to go and try and negotiate, try and appease, and they're going to gain no ground. They're going to lose ground instead of gaining it.
There's the word. There's the word. Appease. Appease the media. Appease Europe. Appease everybody but our own people.
Yeah, and it won't win.
So yeah. Right, mate. I don't want to because I love being on here with you. But I'm knackered from today, and I can feel my energy winding down. So I don't want to go
back to back. Oh, yeah.
I went to look at your live stream. I was like, hang on a minute, he done this earlier. I was like, how many fucking live streams he done? So, yeah. Vin's basically living his whole life online now.
Yeah, it's like my lass is going, are you ever going to stop?
She's like, I thought we were together. Jesus, yeah. I've lost you.
She's going to walk in and she's going to be a skeleton just sat in this chair next to the microphone, just like look at the computer. Like, yeah, there we go.
And I've got some more subs, but I've lost a bit of weight.
I've lost a bit of weight. I'm a bit bony now. Restore right, it says Restore Britain has reached out to big names blindly, like the young Bob, etc. Not my cup of tea. I think that's personally though, isn't it, mate? Isn't it that because young Bob stole some of your equipment or something, and you didn't particularly like that he did that? I've got to admit, I think young Bob is a little bit cocky, but
I think he's a twat.
Yeah,
I think he's a twat, but I don't necessarily know that Rupert knows that.
Yeah. I don't think he's reached out for him to join the party. I think he just reached out to him when he got attacked that time. So,
yeah.
And the thing is, as long as he's not in the party representing anything, or he's just like a media spokesperson, that could probably be the best place for him. If he's assistant journalist.
The thing is, well, someone said it earlier on, we're not all going to agree on the most perfect. Like, if there's a party where we all go, this is perfect, then that's a little bit North Korea for me. But if we can all say, this is our best bet, whether we're really into it I've got my doubts, but I'm going to vote for this, that's where we need to be. So this party doesn't have to be equally as brilliant to everybody, but if everybody can see the benefit in voting for it, that's a good thing. That's where we need to get to.
I will say this, I don't agree with what Richard wow, voice is going. What Richard Inman and Paul Thorpe said about young Bob. They said, oh, he just got roughed up in Whitechapel, he should just shake it off and that sort of thing. It's like, he didn't deserve that. He got beat up by fully grown men when he's a 17-year-old.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But in terms of this comment here, no, Bob is young, so leave him be. Yeah, he's young. So if we leave him be, he learns nothing. So then he gets to grow up and be another cunt. Or teach him something now so he can learn and be a brilliant activist, because he's got the potential to be brilliant. So right? we could tip around on eggshells around him and not upset him because he's young, or people could teach him the right way of doing things.
Let's not forget, right? He's 17. He's 1 year away from being 18 and an adult, so he's not that young. The thing is, as well, I think the best person for him to be with, he's going to be with anybody, would be Rupert Lowe, because Rupert Lowe would give him a sharp, harsh slap down. And
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's all I'm trying to say. Is he needs to be part of a structure, and he will do well. He's got potential all over him. But with someone at that age, it's very difficult in front of that camera for a lot of people a lot older than him to hold their shit together. So if he's got some kind of structure there and somebody above him, it will help him so much, because he could be a real success, and I think he probably will be.
Yeah. I think it's the classic case. I don't mean this I'm talking about this in a rhetorical way, not an actual physical way. But young Bob's the sort of person that's never been punched in the face before. He's never been punched in the face. He's cocky. He stands up to people. But that time when you get punched in the face, reality strikes you. You realise that you're not immortal. You're not immortal.
It's a different world. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like I say, I do think that He's made a couple of mistakes. I don't think he's a bad lad. I just think, like I say, what anybody needs to understand, there's 40 and 50-year-olds that get too cocky from getting too much attention on here. Imagine what that does to someone even younger. When you've got a structure in place, that helps you.
Yeah, you
So
have to have the humility with it as well.
yes,
I stuck up for him in Sheffield with that sergeant that was like being disrespectful to him. I went over to the sergeant and said, "Why are you speaking to a young lad like that?" You've seen it on my video on my channel. When I went over and say, all he was doing was asking you questions.
yeah,
And then you just spoke to him like a piece of dirt. You know, so I get that.
yeah,
I've seen young Bob in action myself. I've actually stood next to him when he's been doing his protesting. And for me, I agree with every word that he said. But
yeah.
he has got a little bit cocky since he's got a little bit more fame. And
And
like
don't
you
get me
said,
wrong, it happens to everybody. But
yeah,
yeah. But you've got, but we all, and when I say we all, I mean nearly every single one of us, and that's more embarrassing not for Bob, but for some of us older ones that should know better. Many of us have needed our ego slapped down at some point before we learn. So I'm just saying that's even going to be more likely with someone younger. You know,
Yeah, the
it
thing is with that
happens.
though, what I've said, I would take a completely different stance to what Richard Inman and Paul Thorpe said about him. Yeah, getting attacked is not good. He needs to go into these situations prepared, and that just shows naivety from being young and inexperienced. If you go
Yes,
into
yeah,
those situations, you need backup and be prepared to
yeah.
be attacked. Yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, and that's the other thing is it's hard to watch. Like it was one I saw him getting attacked. It was hard to watch him being. I mean, because he does look young, and
yeah,
you want to rip the fucking screen out the wall when you one of the ones I
yeah.
saw him being attacked. It was
I'll be
horrible.
honest. I'll be honest with you. When I saw it, I wanted to jump through the TV screen, and just punch the
Yeah,
fucking head in.
that's
That's
how
what I
I
wanted
was.
to do, mate.
That's how I
Yeah,
was. I really wanted to grab those people because of the way that they were mishandling him, and it was out of order, and that's what really gets me. And it's those
yeah.
situations you want to kind of mitigate, isn't it?
Don't get me wrong, right? He was brave for doing it, but sometimes there's a fine line between bravery and stupidity, and you've got to be
Especially if
careful
someone
where you're
hurts
on that
you.
fine line. Yeah, because don't forget
Yeah.
these people are carrying weapons.
Mm.
He wasn't wearing a stab-proof vest. He didn't have security. He just had a friend who was a cameraman with him. It could have turned very
Yeah.
nasty very, very quickly.
Yeah, and that's the thing is people got to realize this as well. It can be the silliest thing that you think is not going to be anything. Some people die from just being punched once. You know, it happens, and you know nobody wants to see tragedies and stuff happening in this movement when you've got up and young talent coming. You know, and there is. You look at the march we did in Southampton today. The people talking in the march. Some of them were older, but you also got like the girls there that were 20, 25 speaking as well. There is a new breed of people coming through. So, but they're learning, you know?
This will explain a lot then. He has high functioning autism. He really doesn't need people pulling his strings.
Oh,
So
really? I didn't know that.
you know what? Knowing that now, I think he needs security even more because I've got a
Yeah,
son that has that, and they don't sense danger. They don't. They've got no sense of danger whatsoever. They need somebody there that has that sense of danger for them, the conscious for them, to protect them because they don't understand the
yeah.
situation they're getting into.
It could do with
Yeah,
like I said about the other two, it could do with a handler, or in his case, with this security perhaps. But yeah,
yeah.
definitely, definitely.
Someone called Fred, that the close protection bloke. Fred
Yeah,
is perfect for him.
yeah, yeah. But yeah. So I think that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. And sorry to Bob, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I'm just
Right.
checking the right. Like I said, we're not going to go in. We're just saying that he needs to. Well, like over time, I think he will actually grow up and mature a little bit and realize he'll look back on it and think, "Shit, I was really close with that. Really, really
Oh
close."
yeah. We all. The other thing as well is we all look back at stuff and go, "Oh God, did I really say that? Did I really?" You know. And why anybody think Bob would be any different, I don't know, because we all grow in this movement and we all look back and go, "Did I really do that?" Do you know what I mean? So that's for all of us. That's just a normal experience of going through this. So yeah, Bob's not going to be any different. He's going to have things that he does, and you may not think there's any problem with him, but he will go, "Oh shit, I wish I never," because we all do. We all do. We've all made that video, you know. So that's just a normal part of being in the movement.
And let's look at this comment. Came in late, Vin. I'm back at the start. They're lying on the family thing. You and no one has mentioned his wife. Liars, mate. Evil liars. Yeah. Just smearing. They're just doing smear tactics. What I did do was, this is what I did, right? I questioned whether or not he had death threats or not. Now, I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to say, since lately he's been proven to be lying about a lot of things. So I think it's reasonable to join to question if he's telling the truth or not on things, especially when he hasn't provided any evidence for these so-called threats. And especially when he's on live streams where there's a high potential for getting emotional donations, shall we say, from super chats and stuff. That could be a motivation to say something like that. That's all I'm saying.
There's a lot of weird things that happen in this movement that people aren't aware of. And a lot of us don't say things about. I'm not saying about in this case, but a lot of us don't say things about it because unless you can absolutely prove something 100%, you can't say certain things.
Yeah.
So, and that's the way I've always tried to work. So where I can. So,
if he came out and showed evidence, I'd make a video apologising straight away.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But given past is past and what he's been doing recently by smearing people, misrepresenting what people have been saying, I don't think it's a reasonable thing to say, I don't really trust what he's saying.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I could think that of a few people at the moment.
Yeah.
So seriously, I think there's some people out there that have got a lot of trust winning to do winning back to do if they ever want to be a threat of anything, of even wearing a badge for a car park again. I really do. And it's all right having a bunch of people who will support you on YouTube, but they aren't votes. So yeah.
I will just say that I've had quite a few comments. I'm not going to say specifically why. I've had quite a few veterans that have posted on my videos, and I've had my suspicions as well about certain things that have been said. That's all I'm going to say, that have drawn into question some things that he said, because there are things that veterans wouldn't say. Let's just say that's all. I'm going to leave it there at that.
Okay. Well, as I said, I've not been in the military, so I don't have an opinion. I can't have an opinion. I can't have an opinion because I just don't know enough. So, but yeah, we'll leave that one there because.
Hang on, let's just right. So millions of clicks. He's always there with the ethno-nats in the background, just saying. But hey ho, what's that supposed to mean? With ethno-nats in the background, who's got ethno-nats in the background? I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. You want evidence. So you're saying what you're saying that young Bob's involved with ethno-nationalists.
Did it? So have you had a drink? Right, Vin, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm out, mate. I'm out too. We'll leave it at
mate.
That.
Yeah, I've had a good day today. I'm not going into that. I've had a drink, so I'm going to cause an argument fucking phase because I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Right. Thank you, Vin, so much.
Mate. I'm going to wrap things
really
up.
Really appreciate it. Bless you.
Right.
Take care, everybody.
If you want to stay on, we'll have a chat after I've gone off being live, mate, if you want to.
I'm gonna cut from here, Vin, just because I just need a break after today. It's been such a long one. But I might. Yeah, is that all right?
No problem, mate. Yeah, no problem.
All right, buddy. I will.
Right, everybody. Yeah. Do you want me to? Yeah. Right, I'll let you go then, mate.
Yeah, kick me out, buddy.
Kick you out, mate. And he's gone. Right. I think that's all we're going to cover on that tonight. I'm getting tired now. I'm really, really tired. So I think everybody just wants to enjoy the rest of the evening. I'm going to call it the night. I think Gobster Talks, he's going live at 9 o'clock. So if you're interested in Gobster Talks, go and go and have a look at his live stream. He was in here earlier. Gobster Talks, go and check him out. He's another great YouTuber says it how it is, doesn't care what people say and stuff like that. So go and check him out. He's brilliant. Anyway, I think I've done enough live streams for today. This is Vindicator. Sign off. Thank you for coming, everybody. I really appreciate it. And I shall see you all soon in the morning walk video. Thanks. Oh, by the way, before we go, Steve, bang up job modding again, mate. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate you being there to be the backup, mate. Really thank you. Thank you for everybody to liking, sharing, subscribing. You're great. See you all soon. This is Vindicator, signing off.